All right, the video of the situation I'm about to show you is horrible. I couldn't duet the original video. Duets weren't working. But I'm going to play that here, and then when it mentions in the description, there's contact information that you can use. I'm going to put that on screen at the end of the video so that if you want to send emails, you certainly can. But what is happening to this family is horrific.
Meet the Hernandez family. That's Matt and Tucky and their daughters, Emma and Aria. Over the past few months, the Georgia state government has ripped the Hernandez family apart because Emma has a medical condition that the court simply refuses to acknowledge. This all started back in June when Matt and Tucky noticed some swelling in the lower legs of Emma, their infant daughter. They took Emma to a pediatrician who did some blood work and referred them to the ER. After an x-ray of her legs, the hospital's child abuse physician reported possible child abuse despite the fact that the blood work results indicated a medical disorder as the reason for her injuries. The Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services, or DFACS, seized Emma and placed her with her aunt and uncle. 2 weeks later, a caseworker visited the Hernandez home and determined that their older daughter, Aria, is obviously happy and very well cared for. The next day, Tucky was arrested for battery and cruelty to children. Now, take a look at this and tell me that these are battered children. Because of these charges, Matt is not allowed to communicate with Tucky, and Tucky is not allowed to communicate with Matt or her daughters. Now, while the aunt and uncle had Emma, she developed a rash on her feet. The state took Emma from them, claiming that either they were abusing her or allowing Tucky to come and abuse her. They took her to a hospital and they put her on a feeding tube and gave her other medical treatments without any of the family's knowledge or consent. Emma and Aria were then placed with a foster parent. At their first visitation, Matt noted that both Emma and Aria had signs of neglect, including cold, mottled skin and discoloration on one of Emma's legs. The foster parent completely dismissed his concerns, and DFACS had no interest in hearing them either. After months of fighting just to get copies of Emma's medical records, including from when he first took her to the ER, DFACS finally gave them to him. 2 months later, at their first court hearing, medical experts testified in court that Emma has either neonatal rickets or osteogenesis imperfecta, both of which are medical disorders which cause the types of injuries that Emma has, and that there is no sign of physical abuse. The judge, Heather Dunn, refused to admit their testimony and chose instead to rely solely on the hospital's child abuse physician, who brought no paperwork and did not appear to understand these disorders. This physician's only evidence that this was abuse was a claim that these types of injuries are statistically caused by abuse. When he asked for the source of these statistics, he said that you could look it up on the internet. Let me say that again. The judge who is deciding whether or not to allow the Hernandez family to live together or not took the word of someone who said, look it up on the internet, over the word of 2 medical experts who said that her injuries appear to be the result of a serious medical condition. Now, at the same time that all of this is going on, Emma and Aria were transported to a visitation center to see Matt. But Matt's in court fighting to keep his family together, and he obviously can't be in 2 places at once. So the state either messed up their visitation schedule or they intentionally scheduled it so that he couldn't be there. Either way, Aria was devastated. With each visit, Matt sees Aria becoming more and more withdrawn and depressed, and he sees Emma becoming more and more injured and sickly. During one of their visits, when the caseworker came into the room, Aria got scared and ran behind Matt. The caseworker smiled and accused Aria of being racist. Aria is 3 years old. And I'm willing to bet that she's more concerned about why she can't go home to her parents than she is about the race of the stranger who's coming to take her away from them. Now, if all this wasn't bad enough, a couple weeks ago, Matt found out that his visitations are being cut in half, and that Aria and Emma are being moved to a new foster family instead of back to their aunt and uncle. In fact, this case was brought to our attention by the Williams family, a foster family who had temporary custody of Emma and Aria when their first foster mother went on vacation. After seeing how much these girls wanted to go home, The Williams family began to investigate and discovered the horrific tragedy that the state is putting this family through, in violation of their own policies. And despite the fact that the caseworker's report states that reunification is the goal of this case, the state of Georgia has refused to acknowledge Emma's medical condition, choosing instead to assume that she's being abused. They seem hell-bent on destroying this family, but we're going to reunite them. And here's how you can help. In this video's caption, I have listed the email addresses of all of the officials involved in this mess. I want you to email them and tell them to acknowledge Emma's condition, return Emma and Arya back to their parents, and drop all charges against them. Now, before you do that, listen, I am sure that you're as angry about this as I am. But you know how much government officials love to play victim. Oh, why are these people saying these mean things to me? I'm just doing my job. They would love nothing more than to make this about them. But it's not about them. And it's not about what we think of them. It's about Emma, Arya, Tucky, and Matt Hernandez. It's about ending this nightmare for them. Think of them when you're writing this email. And be respectful to these officials. Don't give these people a chance to act like the victims here. And once you've finished emailing them, be sure to share this video far and wide and tag your friends and loved ones in the comments so as many people as possible can help us reunite the Hernandez family now. We can do this. So let's get to it.
I love you so much. I love you more. To me back.
Yeah, so as mentioned, here is the contact information. I'm going to get out of the way, and I'll leave it up for a few seconds so that if you want to send some emails yourself.